Hey you guys, what's up? Your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate you for tuning in. We are in my car, and literally, if you can see, god dang Walmart right there. Yeah, we at Walmart. I called myself trying to give my mama a surprise and get her a TV, but this hoe ain't fitting in the car. So I'm literally having to wait on my brother to get here so we can transfer, the merchandise so we can try to surprise her. But yeah, nonetheless, we definitely are in just chilling mode. So now I guess that kind of gave me enough time to come and talk to you guys about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, Miss Crystal, you may have a little bit of melanin, okay, you may have a little bit of melanin. You damn near clear, but you got a little tan is what I'm saying. But you was acting real Karen this episode, acting real hella Karen. All of your white adjacentness, all of your caucasity, sure as hell came out this episode. So let's go ahead and get into it and talk about it, because y'all, Crystal kind of got on my nerves, I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna open up with the ladies all having breakfast and everything like that, and they're just sitting there discussing like what is it that could have possibly triggered Crystal. She went off talking about this is not a safe space for me, of course you guys wouldn't believe me, it doesn't affect you, yada yada yada. From Garcelle's standpoint, she was thinking, well, maybe she felt like they were defending more Sutton than they were her. And then Erica was thinking more along the lines I was thinking, which is, okay, I'm gonna defend my friend because my friend is saying she feels a certain way and y'all aren't accepting it, and that same thing has happened to me. And so I'm thinking that's what it was. And of course Kyle is still thinking at this point like Crystal still is comparing apple to oranges, like, okay, ladies getting onto you for using the word violate versus not addressing somebody's feelings after a whole gunpoint robbery, or it's just kind of two different things. But I just really think Crystal this episode really let the Karen come out of her. I'm not gonna lie. Garcelle, since she's close with her, she was tasked with giving her a call. So she gave Crystal a call and basically convinced her to come and talk to the lady. She's like, look, before you go, at least clear the air. That way when we get back, it's not no mess or whatever. And Crystal was like, oh, they still don't know what triggered me. And it's like, no, bitch, like, it's you. That's why they're trying to talk to you. I feel like Crystal's looking for them to have the answers to her mind. But that's the thing, like, people need to understand, like, people can't read your mind. You're expecting them to know things about you and like react to you a certain way without knowing you, hold on, y'all, somebody's walking by. Hold on, y'all. I ain't trying to be all up in these folks, hearing my business when I'm talking to y'all. Eating pretzel sticks. Okay, y'all, I'm back. So yeah, basically Crystal comes over and sits down with everybody, and they're like, okay, girl, what's the tea, sis? What's the tea, sis? Like, why you trip out on us? And she starts getting emotional. Crystal's like, sorry, just wait a minute. I don't want to get emotional. But basically, it just kind of feels like, last year everybody was campaigning against me because they didn't like the word I used. And for everybody to just turn the focus on about a word being violate instead of, what the real issue was, which was my feelings, it just really, made me feel like I wasn't in a safe space. And so the ladies were like, okay, Crystal, of course, Kyle, of course, is like, I never meant to make you feel like I wasn't listening or you're unsafe, Last year, I'm not gonna lie, I was on the fence when I definitely was one of those people like violate, like, god dang, that's a really strong word. Like, she violated you, like, it was a lot. It was a strong word, and I understand Crystal really wants to play semantics and the technicalities of it all, but she does have to recognize, like, humans go according to what they know and how they can process things. And when most people hear the word violate, they immediately, their mind is going to take them, to the extreme of violate. Like, when you think of violate, you think of like physically touching somebody, physically, being abrasive, against somebody's will. And Sutton just didn't do that. She came in the room accidentally, but I'm gonna let you have it, Crystal, whatever. So everybody basically apologized, but Garcelle was on that ass. She was like, well, because everybody was like, she was like, it just really triggered me because I've been holding this in all year. And so it's like, because you been hanging on to that a year, like, that's what the reunions are for, bitch. Like, you could have said something at the reunion last year because you was hella dry. Like, that would have at least gave you a little bit of screen time. But basically Garcelle was like, okay, that's good and everything, just don't wait till next year. But let me tell you something that I've been holding in, and she's like, I'm not gonna lie, Crystal. I really feel like whatever Sutton had said, you would have basically came to her and been like, are you that girl? And she was like, huh? She was like, well, do you feel that way, now after knowing me? And she was like, I don't know. And so Crystal kind of was like, huh? Like, she feels like, I guess Garcelle is questioning her character. I don't think in that situation Crystal was being very calculated. I don't think she was purposely waiting for a moment to call Sutton out on being, quote unquote, that girl. But it fit the moment because Sutton is one of those women, like, rich white women. They love to kind of, they try to, without saying I'm racist, they're looking for a way to, I'm not racist. They're looking for a way to say I'm not racist without saying the words I'm not racist. And one of the infamous line is, I don't see color, but it's like, for people who are minorities and who are people of color, we want you to see the color. We need you to see our color, because without recognizing of who we are, yes, I'm a woman when I walk in the room, but I'm not just a woman. I am a black woman walking in a room, So you can't just ignore that, because when you're ignoring the existence of color, that means you're kind of trying to put a blanket over what that color represents that we go through. And so it definitely was a moment for Sutton last year. And like, it's white women's biggest fear to be attacked by black Twitter. They do not want that cancellation, okay? They do not want that scarlet letter on their back at all. So now basically Crystal's in a funk because she feels like Garcelle was trying to call her out.
You good, Mom?
You okay back there? You okay back there? All right, y'all. Sorry, I'm babysitting / sitting and talking to you guys / snacking. Okay. What they were gonna say? Yeah. So basically, Crystal feels like Garcelle kind of like was like on her ass. So speaking of Sutton, she was with Diana. Now, no, Diana's a rich bitch. Okay. So she came over. Sutton, why'd you have all that goddamn food? Why did you have all that damn food for 2 people? I was just looking at this spread and I was like, damn, that's a waste of good food. But Sutton and Diana basically sit down, and Sutton was basically telling Diana like, oh my God, that was so intense yesterday. And she was like, yeah, just looks like Crystal, everybody has their triggers. Crystal was triggered. And so Sutton got to it with Diana, what's your triggers? And she basically was just talking about how, talking about her accent, maybe judging her where she came from. And she was like, before, she used to be very aggressive. She used to be very abrasive. She used to be very confrontational, because obviously being a foreigner coming into a new country, I hate to break it to y'all, but kids are assholes. Like, they are. They're mean. They can be bullies. They can talk, make fun of people. And I'm sure that's what she went through. And so she learned how to basically fight with her words. As she said, oh, you from Russia. Can you point it out on a map? That's what she was hitting them back with, And so she admitted that's what she used to be like, but, she's gotten better. And now Sutton just kind of feeling like, what? I don't want to go back with Crystal. No, we've made up, and that's just kind of like what I want it to be. So Garcelle, this is super funny. Garcelle was on the phone with her son Oliver, and she gets off the phone and tells the ladies, well, I got some good news about my son. He's working for somebody y'all know. And they're like, who? PK? She said Lisa Vanderpump. All them hoes said, oh, like, I know you fucking lying. Now they basically all hit Garcelle with the I know you fucking lying. But it was just super funny because Lisa Vanderpump is almost like Lord Voldemort. You say that name, that bitch pop up 3 times. So yeah, so we move on. We have a little scene with PK and Dorit, basically just talking about how she's dealing with the break-in, how she's, trying to cope, and she's saying she's doing good and everything, but PK is worried about all the things that she's holding in, and essentially she's gonna go to therapy to try to fix it and, try to make things better. Brenna actually offered for her to talk to her mom because she was dealing, she's dealing with a traumatic situation. Her mom was actually kidnapped by a man who ended up becoming a serial killer. So, she had a traumatic moment. To live with, traumas is a very hard, situation. So she was looking for her mom, to talk to Dorit and kind of like give her a little advice on how to move on after, seriously traumatic events. So, what happened after that? Sutton's having her little party. There honestly wasn't that much this episode, you guys, so let's go ahead and break into it. There really wasn't that much left. Sutton, she's having her party, so all the ladies are getting ready. Oh, god dang. Hey, you guys, your girl G here. I want to apologize. My phone started to overheat while I was in the car. It's been really hot in Texas, so sometimes it cuts my camera off from overheating, but we're going to get right back into Beverly Hills. I apologize that it's not via video, but hopefully this recording will work. Okay, so we're Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're going to pick up where we left off of, Dorit saying that she was going to talk to Lisa Rinna's mom. Obviously Lisa Rinna's mom going through a traumatic experience to kind of be able to help her in getting past this situation. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Dorit, this is not going to be what you do this whole season, child. Like, I get it, we understand you went through a robbery, I'm empathetic, I'm sympathetic, but we're not gonna keep beating this every episode because, girl, you done already talked about it, you've been to therapy, and there's nothing else really left to it. So I just hope this isn't gonna be your whole your shtick for this whole season. I'm gonna need you to try to get in between some chit chat, some messy tea going on between Garcelle and Sutton, or something, okay, but we can't keep talking about this burglary all goddamn season. So everybody is getting ready to go to Sutton's little boutique party after that. Sutton, she's all about the couture, the haute couture. And, everybody's getting ready except Erica. Y'all, Erica said, I'm gonna stay my ass at home. I got my dog. He gonna be, my friend for the night. Sutton, extended the invitation, but I'm not gonna go. Like, she couldn't even apologize to me because y'all know, Erica tried to ask for an apology in that little flashback. She was like, so do I deserve an apology? She was like, no. Or then she's like, do you plan on giving me an apology? And Sutton was like, no. And she was like, oh, really? Why? She was like, because I don't like you. I don't like your ass. Basically is what Sutton, and I was like, yes, sometimes it is okay to tell a girl, bitch, I don't like you. I don't fuck with you. And that's why you're not going to get no energy from me. Like, that is okay to say. And Sutton this season definitely has grown a huge pair of cojones because she just really is not the same Sutton. And even Kyle mentioned it, like the girl that was breaking down every 2 minutes crying, didn't want nobody like coming after her. Like, Sutton just, I guess she decided, bitch, y'all not gonna keep playing with me. And I do also think Garcelle being by her side does play a huge part in that. But yeah, Erica Jane, she's still struggling with her life, now that she's living in a little 2,000 square foot house that's probably too expensive. But I did forget to talk about Miss Erica Jane and how she was at La Quinta telling everybody that, she wanted to thank them for how she acted last season, just kind of, tolerating her basically, bitch fit that she was throwing. And, so I just really, wanted to just say, I appreciate you guys. I'm just really, I'm glad you guys were empathetic, to what I was going through, especially with how everything's going on. And Garcelle was like, oh, that's great. It was just, we wanted you to know that, because Erica also was like, with all of these things, I didn't have anything to do with it. I wasn't involved. It's been proven. And it's kind of like, girl, you keep trying to use this "it's been proven it wasn't me" mess. And it's like, no, it hasn't. Like, everybody's still waiting on for you to point at least to a headline saying, oh, Erica Girardi, exonerated or, removed from Tom Girardi's, legal woes with burn victims and widows. But that ain't been happening, bitch. So Garcelle actually low-key called her out and was like, well, what we kind of were expecting from you last year was like a little bit of compassion. Like, you didn't show any maybe like remorse or, something in regards to these victims. And Erica basically leaned into saying she couldn't because of, legalities. And I am thinking I have watched, enough Law and Order to understand that in some cases, if you do apologize, that's basically like an admission of guilt, which is why they actually have that legally for doctors. Like, doctors, you can't hold, if they apologize, like, you can't hold that against them as an admission of guilt. But Girardi ain't no doctor, right? So, and Erica ain't no doctor either. So basically, she's in a situation of like, if I apologize, it's gonna make me look guilty. Then not only that, she's trying to double down with and then on top of that, we don't know if all these people, didn't get paid or like that they didn't get paid or something like that. And everybody was like, huh? Like, everybody turned their head like, I know you lying. Like, what is she, did she really just say that? And so basically Erica was alluding to the fact that I guess like there isn't proof that there are people who got their money or just saying that they didn't or some shit like that. But it's kind of like, girl, Erica, you are digging yourself in a deeper hole, boo boo. But yeah, so she went invited to Sutton's house. I mean Sutton's boutique, but everybody else was. On the way to the boutique, we had Kyle and Dorit. They were chit chatting, and basically Kyle was talking. Dorit told Kyle about Lisa Rinna's mom having a stroke. We all know now that she unfortunately passed away, but at the time she had a stroke, and Lisa Rinna wanted to be there beside her. And it reminded Kyle of the time that she was with her mom, with Kim, and they were laughing because her mom, like, something happened to her and she lost her vocal abilities. And so it just reminded her of a time that she was like, oh yeah, me and my mom and Kim, we were laughing. And it just kind of struck a memory. And then all of a sudden, Kyle gets this notification on her phone of somebody taking pictures outside her gate. Because, on these new security cameras, like the footage will get sent to your phone. Well, girl, that sent Dorit in a spin. She was like, what do you mean? She was like, oh, I'm just going to chop it up, the paparazzi. She was like, girl, you can't tell me no shit like that, because then I'm going to start thinking, it's somebody trying to case the joint. Like, Dorit is putting on all the, traumatics, the anxieties, the triggers of it all. And it's like, people are really trying to be like really sympathetic, and I really am. I promise I am. But maybe it's the accent that throws it off. Like, maybe it's the accent that's kind of like makes it hard to believe that Dorit is going through all of this. But I can't imagine anybody faking this. But let's get to the party. So Sutton has everything in the party done up. I liked her cute little drink stirs that had like Sutton on them. But she has, I guess his name was Alexi, the little French designer and everything. And they were going and showing how much his outfits were and stuff. And that little red backwards ass vest, I don't know what, jacket, tuxedo, dress that Sutton had on. Am I tripping, or did that bitch say 17,000? 17,000? And she told me she loves Sutton, loved throwing that it's couture, out there. And I'm like, bruh, that backward ass tuxedo dress should not be no $17,000. That bitch better be made of full, like custom Indian silk from the, the hairs of a, endangered species or some shit for it to be that expensive. But I be damned. Just because y'all throw couture behind something does not make it not ugly. But nonetheless, everybody's showing up. Kyle and Dorit get there and they see, press. And that sends Dorit into another tailspin of, oh my God, there's press. Why didn't, she tell me? And I'm kind of like, don't you know when people do all these parties? Dorit, you've been doing this long enough to know that press is going to be everywhere. So it just kind of was like, all you had to do was walk past them. But, Kyle, she didn't miss her opportunity to get in front of the camera. So Garcelle shows up, everybody's there. And so we see this moment of Kyle doing her little pot stirring. As Kyle like to say, I'm always trying to fix the situation. And Garcelle was like, girl, are you really? But are you really? But Kyle calls herself going over there to talk to Sutton, talking about, are you okay? With Crystal. And she was like, yeah, why? She's like, well, I'm not going to lie. La Quinta, she was kind of telling us some things about you after we were trying to talk to her. And she was like kind of saying that like you said some things. And so Sutton was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to do this. Like me and her have moved forward. And Kyle was like, well, I'm just trying to let you know, because the way she put it was like the things that you said were dark. And it's like she didn't want to tell us. So it just has us wondering, like, what did you say? And she's like, I was there and I don't remember you saying anything bad. But Sutton is not trying to discuss it. She was like, oh my God, I want to let you know that we're moving forward. Me and Sutton have made up. Like, we're not going to make this a big deal. But it's a TV show. We got to get to producing. Bitch, we going to make it a big deal. So Garcelle comes over there at the same time, and she's like, Sutton, girl, like, you might want to watch your friend, because the way she's saying it, the way it's alluding, and the way it's sounding, it sounded like the things you said could possibly change the dynamic of our friendship. And she's basically trying to let you know, bitch, she's trying to make it seem like you racist. Like, that's what she's trying to do. And Sutton, I think Kyle was onto something, where she was thinking of like, Sutton maybe doesn't want to address it because she can't remember what she said. And we all know Sutton, she doesn't have necessarily the best communication skills. But I also think Crystal can be dramatic. I'm sorry, there are dramatic people in the world, and they choose to make everything on 10 when it really, like, to you it may be on 10, but to the rest of the world, like, like something about Crystal just gives me like she needs like to be constantly checked upon, if that means something like makes sense. So all the girls go over there to sit down because Kyle was talking to Sutton, and Kyle was talking to who was it? Crystal, that's what it was. Kyle was talking to Crystal and was like, girl, okay, like we need to talk because what you said at La Quinta, like it's just really bothering me. Like you said, what you said was wrong. And Crystal was not trying to go there. She was like, no, I'm not doing this. I said it was dark, we're not going to pick this word game again. I told y'all last time, or now you're trying to invalidate me last time, and here you go doing it again. And Garcelle was like, well, girl, like the way you made it sound, like I just want to make sure because I'm friends with Sutton. So if she said something that could change how, we are friends, like I think I should know. And Jennifer, I don't know why I keep wanting to call this girl Jennifer, but Crystal, she basically looked at Kyle and was like, because Kyle was like, girl, I don't remember, or no, Kyle was like, I remember that conversation, but Crystal kept trying to tell her like, you don't remember. She's like, quit trying to tell me I don't remember. I know the conversation. And so Sutton ends up sitting down and was like, oh, I'm glad you want to have this conversation here, and not behind my back. And Sutton is on their ass. But basically Crystal was like, Kyle, it might not affect you as much as it would, Garcelle and me, which means she's alluding to it's some racist shit, And so to allude that and not want to say what it was, that would bother me, especially if, okay, Crystal, if we both these minorities on this white franchise, wouldn't you want to tell me that, especially if I'm building a friendship with somebody? And then, Kyle, you can also, say, okay, this is what I remember from the conversation. Was it something around that? Okay, I remember the part where you asked her about, oh, are you that girl? But like, what else happened after that? And the fact that also too, production didn't do like a flashback to what Crystal could be alluding to is kind of making me feel like it was nothing. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Crystal is one of those people who can take something so small and turn it into something big. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. But at this point, Dorit was like, also like, girl, that's not fair. Like, you're just kind of playing dirty, throwing this stuff out there and like thinking, okay, I'm just going to leave it there. And Crystal was like, here, we're not going to do this again. You're not going to invalidate me. I am who I am. You're going to keep questioning my character, but I just know at all times, I know where I stand. So we needed to drop it. And so Garcelle was like, okay, because, Garcelle was just simply looking for, okay, girl, if we gonna be, skin folk, like, bitch, let me know, like, what's the tea, sis? And Crystal wasn't trying to do it. So now all the girls are just kind of stuck like, all right, so I guess we just gonna be stuck trying to pick up this, this goddamn, mystery piece for the rest of the season. We end the episode with Dorit and her little therapy session. Honestly, they're gonna run that in the ground. I'm okay. Run that in the ground. I'm okay not talking about that every fucking episode. But yeah, you guys, tell me who you think is in the wrong with this Crystal, Sutton, and Garcelle situation. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I will catch you guys later. Bye.